you doing? Oh. Just some cruisers, man.
What the?
That's Chris. He's crawling at me like he's got. What's up, dude?
What's up, Seekers? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are brand new here, man, if you don't know what we do, we break down scary and creepy videos, man, on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to IG videos to TikTok videos, anything weird, usual, and explained, you can find right here on this channel. Want to thank the Seekers, man, who's been tapping in with us, man, subbing up to the channel. I appreciate that, man. We seeking the truth just like you, man. Found this video for you guys today, bro. Let's do what we do best, Seekers. Seek the truth out here, bro. Somebody gotta find it.
Mother killed her 3-year-old daughter because SpongeBob SquarePants told her to. If you've never heard about this, you might want to. On September 17th, 2022 in Michigan, a police officer named Gerald Soboleski received a call from a man inside his sister's residence claiming that he found a human foot. So the officer then immediately drove to the residence, and when checking the back room, he found 2 garbage bags with one of them having a human foot sticking out of it, and unfortunately in one of the bags was the body of 3-year-old daughter Sutton Moser, who was stabbed multiple times before being stuffed into the bag. Police immediately got a search team together to find Sutton's mother, and eventually they did find her, and she was passed out in a random graveyard. Turns out the 22-year-old mother named Justine Johnson was the culprit who stabbed and murdered her 3-year-old daughter, and was therefore immediately arrested by the police. When asked why she did it, it was later revealed that she was experiencing hallucinations from heroin withdrawals and not sleeping for approximately 2 weeks. So on the day of Sutton's murder on September 16th, 2022, Justine was hallucinating while watching SpongeBob SquarePants, who apparently instructed her to kill and take her daughter's life. She also said that if she didn't do what she did to her daughter, that they would kill her, and said she was afraid for her life and lost her mind. This case is just shocking and absolutely disturbing, and how could SpongeBob convince you to kill your own daughter? I get she was hallucinating, but still, this is just absolutely crazy to wrap your head around. Rest in peace to Sutton, you did not deserve this at all.
Always check under your bed.
Man, bro, Seekers, that's a freaking bone-chilling case, bro. Like I said, you guys know the shows and movies and stuff we watch, man. They be how sometimes people be saying like they have freaking messages behind it, and they freaking can make people do things that they shouldn't do, bro. Like she said she was hallucinating, but still, like to say that SpongeBob convinced you to do that to your own daughter, bro. That's like some dark, demented stuff, Seekers. What do you guys think, bro?
Before you go to sleep, this, my friends, is the Poltergeist Clown. Click the plus, drop a like, tag a friend, share with 3, or this might get you at night. The Poltergeist Clown is a demonic clown. It takes the shape of a children's toy, waiting for its victims to go to sleep. As soon as it does, it teleports itself under the bed. Once the child awakens, it notices that it's gone. It checks in one place and one place only, under the bed, which then the clown will suck them into another dimension, never being seen again. If this video gets 20,000 likes, I'll summon this cursed clown. Hopefully he doesn't get me before then.
I don't mess with clown, Seekers. Hell no, bro.
Imagine being so scared of police that you freeze to death. Brandon Bushman was a 34-year-old man living in Minnesota. On June the 26th, 2023, something horrific was revealed. Police responded to a call asking them to attend a property that hadn't been lived in since around February 2023. Just after 3:30 p.m, police found Brandon's body inside of a chest freezer in the property. Now, witnesses had seen police in the local area and spotted Brandon run from the upstairs of the house. It's believed that he had a warrant outstanding for his arrest, and it's believed he was trying to evade police. In doing so, he ran to the freezer of the property, presumably hoping to hide there for a short amount of time. However, after climbing into the basement freezer by choice, tragically due to it being an older model of freezer, it had no facility to be opened from the inside. It had a latching mechanism on the outside of the freezer only. Tragically, Brandon was trapped. He couldn't escape the freezer. He was found deceased, and the autopsy showed no evidence of him having any prior injuries or trauma to his body.
Can you?
Seekers, as I said, bro, you gotta think before you freaking act, bro. Like, for him trying to hide from the police, bro, it ended up him freaking making an ultimate mistake and he lost everything, bro. Like, he was trying to freaking avoid the consequences, man, of his actions, bro. Went to the freezer. It was an older model he didn't know, and look what happened, bro. It's like it's as simple as the small things, Seekers, man, that you just don't think about. You're just trying to avoid the consequences or something like that. It can lead to an even bigger one, so it's best to just, if you can own up to it, bro. Because you never know what that other consequence could lead to, man, if you're trying to avoid your first one.
Tell that there is something wrong with this picture. At first, when I saw this picture, I couldn't really tell what it was about it that felt strange, but I knew something was off. I had to get some of the backstory and some of the context on it to understand what the picture was even from. This was back in 2016 when the Saturn family went missing, including their daughter. Nobody knew what happened to these people, but effectively their home became a crime scene, which is where the photo came from. Before we dive in, a huge thank you to you for listening to Creep Time, the podcast. If you haven't listened, go click the link in my bio and listen on Spotify or Apple. This picture. This was from the initial walkthrough of the home. They typically walk through a home, they'll take photos of every room. If you look at the central mirror, right towards the back of the reflection, you can see that this person is not alone in this room. It was only discovered after the fact that it appeared to be someone was hiding in the darkness next to the chair. Whoever's face this was, police believe they might have been responsible for the disappearance.
Seekers, you definitely saw that face, right? I know I wasn't the only one who saw that, bro. Like I said, when you first glance at the freaking picture, I'm gonna say there's nothing wrong with it, but if you zoomed in, it was definitely a face there, bro. So they definitely have to be connected to whatever happened to that family, bro. It's a small thing, Seekers, bro, that you just can't miss. Ooh. How the hell's a tire fall? Is that it?
Stop scrolling because this has to be one of the strangest and scariest Skinwalker encounters ever. TikTok user Samael said that he was walking across a parking lot when a man called him by his name. He turned around and realized that he didn't recognize this man and had no idea how he even knew his name. Things got even weirder though. The man then asked him for $1 and said that I know you only have one in your wallet right now, which was true. Samael said that at this point his heart was jackhammering. He froze there and didn't know what to say, so he said, "Yeah man, I only got $1, but you can have it." He gave him the $1 and then the strange man said, "Yo, do you want to see something?" The man then allegedly lifted up the back of his shirt and showed him his tail. Then he got on all fours like an animal and crawled away.
Seekers, what do you guys think, man? Do you believe that was a Skinwalker, or was he just freaking trying to mess with us, man? Those Skinwalker stories, bro, they're always like trippy, man. You always gotta like do your deep dive into them, bro. You gotta research them yourself to check out if it's true or not. I'm definitely gonna have to check out those Skinwalker stories.
Most disturbing videos in the world, episode 6. This picture contains a list of disturbing videos from the least scary to the most. This will be my scariest series ever. Welcome to tier 7 because we skipped a couple of them. And honestly today, we're gonna skip directly to tier 10. The first video is titled Funky Town. This video single-handedly could be the worst video the internet has ever had. Now obviously I can't show the video here, but I can tell you everything you need to know about it. And please remember, don't look this up. Trust me. It shows a man, getting executed, in which they remove the man's face all while he's still alive. And lots of other stuff start happening. And in the background of the video, the song Funky Town starts playing. You know this song? Yeah, that one. Make sure to like and follow because I start my brand new series tomorrow.
That Funky Town video is freaking cursed video, bro.
What they find out years later will haunt you. A young couple decided to take a late-night stroll through the forest, but little did they know what awaited them. As they walked, the man felt a sense of unease, but his girlfriend dismissed his concerns. Suddenly, the man stepped on something that felt alive and squishy under his feet. Before he could react, they heard rustling from the bushes beside them. They ignored it and kept walking until they returned home. Years later, and they were watching TV when an interview with a death row inmate caught their attention. The man had been asked if he had ever came close to getting caught for his heinous crimes. The killer responded with a chilling tale. "Yes, I remember one night in the woods, a couple walked right by me. The man stepped on the body of the girl who I had just killed. I was hiding in the bushes just a few feet away, but they never saw me. The couple watched in horror as the name of one of the most notorious serial killers was revealed. His name was Ted Bundy. Follow because my next story is crazy.
Seekers, man. Can you freaking even imagine that, bro? You walking in the woods or something like that, bro. You already have that freaking weird feeling, bro. You, like they said, if you can, the guy stepped on something squishy, bro. He didn't even pay attention to it because he heard rustling in the freaking bushes. And I found out that you was in danger like the whole time, bro. And nothing happened to you. Ooh. Like you could really, there's danger lurking everywhere, bro. That's why I always say be aware, Seekers, because you never know what situation you're gonna be in, man.
So this murdered Texas couple's missing baby has finally been found after 42 years. And the story is crazy. Let's take a look. So in 1981, Dean Klaus, his wife Tina Lynn, and their baby Holly disappeared without a trace in East Texas. The only clue was from an anonymous caller who said that he had found Dean's car in California. And he claimed that 3 women in white robes drove it from Texas to California. Police were actually able to track down one of the women who called herself Sister Susan, and she claimed that Dean had joined a cult and renounced all earthly possessions. And she wouldn't tell them anything else. It actually wasn't until late last year that human remains found around the same time were confirmed to be Dean and Tina's. Dean had been beaten to death and Tina had been strangled. But that didn't answer what happened to Holly. This year, investigators were searching for human remains around where Dean and Tina were found. And that's when they got a genetics hit that Holly was alive and in Oklahoma. But get this, when they were talking to Holly, they found out that she had been left on the steps of a church in Arizona by none other than 3 women in white robes. Investigation is still pending, and they are really trying to figure out who these white-robed women are. But for now, at least we know that Holly is alive and well.
Man, bro, what the hell? Seekers? That guy just freaking, you say he joined the cult and just gave away, they said gave up all his early possessions. I'm guessing that included his daughter too, bro. He just left her in the church in Arizona. She, the freaking baby survived, but what happened? I'm trying to figure out now. The mystery is what happened to the parents out of like cult, and those what happened to the parents that they connected. Seekers, man, like I said, when I watch these videos, I always expand my mind, bro. I gotta do my research just like you guys have to. Gotta check up on that. Where's this guy? Edit. Gotta call it out like I see it, bro. It's an edit. I just gotta say it, man. Or at least I think it's an edit.
If you hear a scream, run. This, my friends, is SCP-939, also known as Many Voices. Click the plus, drop a like, tag a friend, share with 3, or this might come after you. SCP-939 mimics the voices of its last victims, either it being their screams or them talking, to lure in new victims. As soon as you get there, it'll devour you. If you hear a scream, don't trust it.
I won't.
Scariest videos I found online. We bet you can't watch the whole video.
The last one scares me.
A woman is hearing weird noises in her home. She goes to investigate. This is what happens.
Edit? Or legit?
A man sees another strange man on the road. Things get really weird.
Buddy! How you doing? Oh! Just some cruisers, man.
What the?
That's Chris. He's crawling at me like a cat. What's up, dude?
Let's say that this thing grabs you and says it won't let you go unless your third act leaks all the photos on their phone right now. Let me know who it is, and let me know if you think you're saved or doomed. A man hears something in the drain cover and decides to check it out. This is what happens. Should I do a part 4?
Kenneth Smith,
You guys saw that freaking last part, bro? He lifted up the drain cover, Seekers. And somebody was definitely in there, bro. I guys, you know, been hearing the things about how, like, freaking people, they can just be anywhere, bro. Living anywhere. Was he, like, living in the sewers, bro? Heard rumors about sewer people and stuff like that. You know, people, I guess, who live on the ground. Definitely got to check that out, Seekers, bro. And that Skinwalker freaking joint. And that guy walking on all fours. Very creepy, Seekers.
Prisoner on death row who made history for all the wrong reasons. His story goes all the way back to 1988 when he maliciously took the life of Elizabeth Sennett. He was arrested and sentenced to death. For the next 33 years, he waited until November 2022 when officers told him that this was the last day he was going to be alive. He was scheduled for lethal injection, though the people performing his execution could not find his vein in time, thus resulting in Kenneth surviving. Instead of trying again, on January 25th of this year, the state of Alabama followed through his sentence by giving him nitrogen gas, which was the first time in history an inmate has ever been executed through this method. What nitrogen gas essentially does to the human body is it deprives it of oxygen, thus making it impossible to breathe. Unlike lethal injection, this process is extremely lengthy and painful. It can take anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes to finish the job. Despite a ton of backlash, the state of Alabama did not listen. After 15 gut-wrenching minutes of Kenneth struggling, he passed away. Since then, a lot of controversy has sparked, so as always, let me know your thoughts.
Millions of TikTok.
That's freaking crazy, bro. That they legit, Seekers, they had to come up with a new way to freaking to end it all, man, because he survived on the first one. I guess that's what caused the outrage, Seekers. I even know something like that, man. That they even had to make like a drastic move like that, bro. I tell you, man, when I watch these videos, I'm just like you guys. I'm a fellow seeker, man, just seeking the truth.
Videos are about to be muted in the next few hours, and it is going to change the app significantly. If you didn't know, TikTok pays music publishers a fee that allows you to use music on your videos for free. But now the second largest music publisher in the world, Universal Music Group, has refused to extend their contract with TikTok, and it expires on January the 31st at midnight. And they wrote a massive, pretty angry statement basically calling TikTok cheap, saying TikTok is trying to build a music-based business without paying fair value for the music. They also said that TikTok is allowing the platform to be flooded with AI-generated recordings, which is nothing short of sponsoring artist replacement by AI. TikTok then clapped back with their own statement, saying Universal Group has put their own greed above the interest of their own artists and songwriters, and that TikTok has been able to reach artist-first agreements with every other record label and publisher, saying clearly their actions are self-serving and are not in the best interest of their artists, songwriters, and fans. I don't know if you can tell, but this is basically a lawyer's rap battle. Now, what this means for you and the app going forward is that if you made any videos with music from their artists, which is a bloody long list, Taylor Swift, The Weeknd, Drake, BTS, Ariana Grande, Olivia Rodrigo, Eminem, SZA, Ye, Justin Bieber, and the list goes on and on and on. Your videos will likely be muted and will not go on the For You page. And what it means for the app, well, TikTok does have other partnerships, but they will lose a huge chunk of what makes TikTok TikTok. But the question is, what's the one trending sound that you hope is part of this removal?
How many people do you think?
That's actually freaking crazy, bro. It's like two freaking corporates just freaking arguing over money, man, and you get to see how that affects everybody else, the small people. They just thinking about themselves, man, but they not really thinking about, I guess, the small people, how it's gonna affect their freaking accounts. Like, what happened to like music reviews and stuff like that? Is this all just gonna get muted, Seekers? Tell you, man. But when it comes to money, bro, nobody thinks straight, Seekers. Nobody.
I've been in the game for a long time, more than 70 probably.
I mean, I'll have to ask you, what was the most violent thing you've done yourself?
I was taking 2 recruits to do a task that was given to us. These recruits obviously were new, they didn't know what they were doing. They got nervous, they came back into the car and they told me that the people that were there were armed. We pull up near this person, and this person is obviously a rival. The person in the back seat, I was driving, the person in the back seat pulled out a rifle and shot him. He missed the shot, but injured him on the leg. At this moment, the rifle jammed. The recruit was panicking. I jumped out of the car, took the rifle, busted the bullet out and cocked it back in, and I shot him again. This person was still agonizing, trying to drag himself through the pavement. The rifle jammed again, so I basically went up to him and smashed him with the butt of the rifle. until his head exploded, and that was it.
So calm about it.
Obviously, there's more things that I've done there, but I'm not willing to discuss at the moment.
One of the most freaking dangerous freaking people ever, bro. Just he's like how so freaking calm. He just talking about it like it's just everyday conversation. Like he just didn't freaking end somebody, bro. In the most brutal way too, Seekers. Damn, what do we go into people's heads when they be doing that stuff, bro? I'm gonna have to find some more interviews, I guess, with him, bro. I guess I'm talking to them Mexican cartel or something. Insane Seekers, bro.
This 18-year-old killed a mother and her daughter while street racing. So this is Cameron Herron. You probably know his story by now. In 2018, he was just a normal 18-year-old kid. At the time of the accident, Cameron was producing content for YouTube, was going to school, and on the day of the crash, he decided that he and his brother Tristan were going to race. So Cameron had a lifelong love of cars, and so he and his brother would always race, and he and his friends would race. But on that day, he reached a speed of 162 miles an hour in his car.
Damn.
And that's when he careened into Jessica and Lilia, a mother and daughter who were crossing the street. Jessica was actually wheeling her daughter across the street when Cameron struck them both with his vehicle. So tragically, on that day, David, Jessica's husband and Lilia's father, was driving home from work when he passed by a huge accident. He said to himself, wow, that must have been a bad accident. He went home, but when he got home, he noticed that his wife and daughter weren't there. So he got back in his vehicle, went out searching for them, and when he returned and passed by the scene of that accident, he noticed the stroller that was sitting on the side of the road. He recognized that that stroller belonged to his family. They owned one just like that. And shortly afterwards, he discovered that the victims of that horrific crash were his own wife and daughter, who were now dead. So Cameron was obviously arrested. He was eventually sentenced to 24 years in prison. And shockingly, afterwards, people have made thirst accounts dedicated to Cameron. The actual hashtag Cameron Herron on TikTok itself has billions of views. And people have been idolizing this guy. His own parents have said in news articles that they get calls at all times of the day to their home from people from countries all over the world, specifically a lot of people from the Middle East, calling to see how their son is doing. But yeah, this is just a tragic story all around. David lost his wife and daughter, his entire family, due to one idiot's reckless decision to go 162 miles an hour down a normal road. And in prison, Cameron Herron is going to be there for a very long time. So his entire adult life is pretty much gone, vanished before he could even be, the legal age to drink an alcoholic drink.
Let's talk about the most banned.
It's freaking insane, bro. There's like billions of freaking. They said his name on freaking TikTok got freaking billions of views, bro. And people were like actually idolizing him, man, and calling him like they have no idea like what he did to that guy's freaking family, bro. So I said, man, Seekers, when you don't even try to like straight race, do stuff like that, man, because you just never know what can happen, bro. The car can go out of control, and the freaking unthinkable can happen, man. That's why you never do that, bro. But the thing that's getting to me is about how they say all these people calling them to ask to see how son of his jail doing, bro. I'm like, they're not gonna call the actual father to see how he's doing, bro. Like how his whole life was freaking changed, bro, ruined off of one action, bro. We need more sympathy seekers, bro. For people that go through things.
And children's book in the 1990s, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Guys, they did this book so dirty, I need to tell you about it. And if you guys don't know, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is a children's horror book that was written by Alvin Schwartz and illustrated by Stephen Gamble. But these books compiled a bunch of folklore stories, accompanied by really creepy drawings, like this one. But these drawings unfortunately led to the book being in the top 10 most banned books in the 1990s. That's because parents deemed the book to have inappropriate and violent themes. The book started being pulled off of school shelves, leading to a drawing redesign in 2011 by another artist named Brett Hillquist, leading the drawings to be dramatically changed and basically
No hate to that artist, but not scary at all. Examples include the dream going from this to this, the haunted house going from this to this, Harold, one of the most popular stories, going from this to this, the red spot going from this to this, as well as so many others.
What are they covering?
Like that's not okay. I'm sorry, that's not okay. And this, of course, led to multiple resellers selling the book with the original drawings at very high prices. Fans were so disappointed until 2017 when this was released. The books finally got republished with the original drawings. But unfortunately, these don't have the original covers, which is okay. I feel like most fans just wanted, like, the drawings back. And I'll be honest, I feel like this only happened because 2 years later, there was a film adaptation by Guillermo del Toro, and this re-release literally says, soon to be a motion picture. Personally, I don't think the book should have been banned at all. But if this was terrifying, then just close the book. But what do you guys think? Do you think this book should have been banned? Yes or no? Well, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
Seekers, what do you guys think, man? So that book had been banned, bro? Then, like they said, they tried to bring it back and water it down, try to change the images. But then it's like, they brought it back, man, just because the freaking picture, just because the movie is coming out, man. So you know they did it for the money, bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro. It's like, it's right there in our faces, bro. There's money involved, bro. They do not care. It still should have been banned if they freaking banned it the first time, but they brought it back for some extra money. Like, Seekers, I want to know you guys also know, should they have banned the book, or it shouldn't have never been changed?
Search teams have located the missing 4-year-old child with autism who went missing in Barber County. They found Phoenix Wilkerson, who before today was last seen Friday afternoon on Sid Bush Road in Clayton. Officials say Phoenix Wilkerson was found by a group of search canines and then was taken to a hospital where he's now being looked at by medical personnel. It is unknown at this time the condition of Wilkerson.
I think they found him. Oh, he found him. He's a hero. Give him a clap, Seekers. What's he doing in the forest? You guys saying when he was freaking circled his feet, but they were like clean. So I'm like, what the hell? How did he get in the forest, bro? There was like his freaking feet were clean, bottom was clean. Did someone like drop him off there? Was he with somebody? Or did he just wander in there? She is. I'm gonna deep dive into that case, bro.
Jurors on this case were so haunted by the crime that they needed trauma therapy. In March 2018, 38-year-old Veronica Youngblood from Virginia was arrested. On the night in question, she had given her daughters gummies laced with a sleeping aid. Her daughters were 5-year-old Brooklyn and 15-year-old Sharon. The mother of two then shot both of her daughters. Horrifically, Sharon did not instantly die. She was actually able to ring police and explain to them that her mum had shot them both. When jurors on the case were played this 911 call, they were so distressed that they actually needed therapy. The teenager was taken to hospital where she sadly passed away. It transpired that Veronica had called her ex-husband after the killings and told him that she hated him. She also told him what she'd done. It's believed that her motive for this hideous crime was revenge over him. He'd actually been planning to move away to Missouri with Brooklyn the following weekend. Following her trial, Veronica was sentenced to 78 years in prison.
A missing North Carolina.
Like, bro, do you know how freaking chilling a case has to be, bro? Like, the freaking, they said the jurors, they need actual therapy after hearing that freaking call, Seekers, man. All because she couldn't let the freaking past relationship go, or dated from jealousy or revenge or something like that. But to take it out on your own kids, bro, just to get revenge over your ex, man, that's not right, Seekers, bro. Like I said, bro, this world can be an evil place, man. Ooh. That audio, bro, freaking haunted those jurors forever, bro.
Atlanta teenager was just found hidden under a trap door in this man's home in a completely different state. And what he has to say about it is horrifying.
She hid on her own free will. She was actually in the bed when the officers first come in there. Her grandma kicked her out. She didn't appear to be that age. She had all kinds of piercings.
In December, a 16-year-old girl left her grandparents' home in North Carolina after a fight and disappeared. She was officially reported missing on December 6th, and her grandparents feared the worst. But what they didn't know was that 3 weeks prior to her disappearance, a 34-year-old man named Zachary Jones found the girl online and started talking to her. And he actually lured her from her home after the fight with her grandparents. Zachary then drove the girl all the way back to his home in Lincoln County, Kentucky, where he repeatedly sexually assaulted her and gave her drugs. Fast forward to Christmas Day. Zachary's mom called 911 to report a domestic violence incident between Zachary and who she thought was his girlfriend. And when police arrived at the home, he said the girl was not there. He was quickly cuffed and placed in the back of a cop car after authorities found drugs in the home. And when they went back inside to search for the girl, they found something incredibly disturbing. Locked inside of a trapdoor hidden under a rug in Zachary's bedroom was a young girl who authorities say appeared very high. After investigating, the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office realized that the young girl was reported missing nearly a month prior out of North Carolina. According to the girl, whose name has not been released, she said that Zachary initially told her that he was 19 online, but when she met up with him in North Carolina, he looked much older. It was there that he said he was 25, and it wasn't until they got all the way back to his home that she found out that he was actually 34. The girl said that Zachary was always armed with a gun and that he forced her to tell his family that she was 18. He also threatened to kill her many times and proceeded to sexually assault her and give her drugs, sometimes even strangling her during the assaults. When the girl was rescued, Zachary denied choking her and said that she hid in the trap door on her own free will, but the girl had very visible marks on her neck that proved otherwise. The victim also said that on their drive back to his house, they were pulled over by a cop, and Zachary told her that he would shoot the officer if they were asked to get out of the car. Zachary was arrested and is being held at the Pulaski County Jail, while the girl was taken to the hospital for treatment and was reunited with her grandparents. In an interview from jail, Zachary admitted to all of it, but said that she told him that she was 18. He said that she didn't look to be 16 as she had all sorts of piercings, and that he was helping her after her grandparents kicked her out, which was not true. Zachary is facing 30 different charges in just Kentucky, but he's also facing more charges in North Carolina as well. He's being held without bond, and judging by his lack of remorse, I truly hope that he never gets out, because this story is absolutely terrifying.
It is.
These are the worst of the worst videos on the internet explained, and today we're starting with Funky Town. Before I begin, never look this video up. This is a massive trigger warning. The video begins in some sort of room and music is playing. The first song that plays is Sweet Child O' Mine by Guns N' Roses. And the camera pans to the victim on the floor with plastic wire. And the torture had already began before the video started. Because the victim looks like he's already been through complete brutality. His hands have already been cut off and his face has been completely flayed, which means skinned. There is no skin on the victim's face at all, and his eyes have been gouged out. And there is an insane amount of blood all on the floor. But the most messed up part about this is that the victim is hooked up to some sort of IV, and the IV is pumping him with drugs to keep him alive. And completely aware, making sure he feels everything that is happening to him. At the start of the video, they try and slit his throat with a farming sickle and press it against his jaw. But when the victim begins to scream, they shove a box cutter in his mouth to shut him up. His screams are absolutely gut-turning. They kept going from screams to gurgling, from screams to gurgling. As the video progresses, they take the box cutter and slit his throat about 40 times. And keep in mind, the victim is still alive and aware of everything because of the drugs they are giving him to keep him alive. Also, the cartel members are mocking and laughing at the victim the entire time. They then continue to try and slit his throat with the box cutter and were going at his neck numerous times. All while the song Funky Town was playing in the background, hence the name of the video. The cartel members kept having to physically restrain the victim, meaning that there was still a lot of life left in him. And the amount of pain he had to be in is completely unimaginable. At one point in the video, a cartel member has his foot on his chest holding him down, and another time they shoved a pole in his mouth holding him in place. But the worst part about the video is towards the end, where the victim manages to loosen his arms from the restraints and immediately tries to touch his face. But remember, the victim has no hands to feel, no face at all, and no eyes to see. The victim was most likely in so much shock that he likely forgot he had no hands, but instinctively the victim still tries to touch his face. It's absolutely horrifying, and the video then concludes. Also, keep in mind, the victim was still alive when the video ended, so who knows what else they did to him before he died. Because they were just keeping him alive to torture him. What makes Funky Town so horrifying, besides what happens in the video, is the mystery behind the video. We don't know the victim's name, we don't know why he was being tortured this way, or what he did. The only thing that we do know is that it took place in Mexico, and it's extremely horrifying to watch. You can make an argument that nobody has ever been tortured this bad in history. Funky Town is definitely one of the worst videos out there, and I don't recommend watching it ever. But to start off this series, Funky Town has the first spot.
I don't, bro. I never look up those videos, man, what that guy says, bro. You know, some people can have the guts too, but I guess I'm just not one of the secrets. You seekers, that's it for this video for you guys today, man. If you guys stay with me to the end, I really appreciate that, man. You seeking the truth just like you, so you're a true seeker for staying through to the end, man. Like I said, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, man, hit that post notification bell, guys. I'm trying to do these daily uploads for you guys, man. Like I said, I'm always trying to upgrade my freaking content, always trying to make it the best it possibly can be. So tell me if you guys want me to do anything better. Like I said, I know y'all guys talking about the audio and stuff like that. I do plan on fixing that and other stuff, but it's gonna come, seekers. So to stay with me, man. You guys can catch in the next one. I'm out. Peace, seekers. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back, seekers, man. You guys already know what we do on this channel, man. We break down scary and creepy videos, man, from TikTok videos to IG videos to YouTube videos. Anything weird, usual, and explained, you can find right here on this channel. Like I said, I just want to thank you, seekers, man, who's been tapping in with us, man, and who's been subbing up to the channel. I appreciate that. Found this video for you guys today, man. Let's do what we do best, bro. Let's check it out.
If you are from the UK, you're gonna want to hear this. Dozens of news headlines read today that the British public could face conscription into the army if they go to war with Russia. Now, this warning comes from the Army Chief General Sir Patrick Saunders in a speech that he gave today, where he stressed that the government needs to mobilize the nation because the military numbers are so low. Now, it's understood that the Army Chief doesn't support conscription, but believes that there needs to be a shift in the mindset of the public, who should be willing to defend the UK against foreign adversaries. But this all got me thinking, how would a conscription in 2024 even work? Because firstly, thanks to the internet, we now have access to so much more information, and war propaganda to make you think all Russians and Chinese are evil wouldn't really work to rally the population anymore. And secondly, who would be conscripted? Because in World War II, it was mandatory for all men aged 18 to 41 to register for service. But since we live in a world where traditional gender roles are changing, would we see a more equal call-up between men and women? And if we did need women to stay at home so they could have children and babies to keep the population going, how the hell would they even afford to have babies? Because we all know that the current cost of living crisis has got people infertile right now. So the question is, if you were called up to fight, would you go willingly or not?
One of the jurors on the out.
That's an important question, man. I can't even imagine it. I don't even want to freaking imagine it happening. I wonder how the freaking public react. I don't think they would react too freaking kindly about that. They won't be happy about that. China, you know, having to go off and, you know, in that situation that's going on right now. And like you said, bro, how would, you know, they even do that now in the current state? Because it's not like you can just call it up and just be like, hey, you gotta join. I think there's just like certain rights and stuff now. Not too much to say on that one. That's just a scary thing in general, bro.
Murdoch case, who found him guilty of murdering his wife and son last year, testified this morning that comments made by the clerk of court influenced her verdict. The hearing being held today is to determine if Murdoch should receive a new trial, as his attorneys allege that clerk of court Rebecca Hill tampered with the jury. Murdoch's attorneys allege that Hill inappropriately discussed the case with jurors, pressured them to conclude deliberations quickly, and misrepresented information to the trial judge about a juror who was ultimately dismissed. They claim she did this, quote, to secure for herself a book deal and media appearances that would not happen in the event of a mistrial. Hill has denied these claims. However, in a hearing today, one juror who is identified as Juror Z testified that she was influenced by remarks Hill made. Juror Z told the judge that prior to coming to a verdict, she heard the clerk say to watch his actions and to watch him closely. She said that Hill's comments, quote, made it seem like he was already guilty. The judge asked juror Z if Hill's comments affected her finding of guilt, and she responded, "Yes, ma'am." Hill is expected to also testify today, along with the 10 remaining jurors. One juror testified on Friday due to scheduling conflicts, and they said that Hill's comments did not influence their verdict. If the judge decides that Hill's comments influenced the jury, whether intentional on her part or not, the judge may decide to grant Murdoch a new murder trial. In that case, his conviction will be vacated, his life sentence will be overturned, and it will be as if he was never convicted, and everything will have to start from scratch again. So we'll see where this goes, but stay tuned.
One of the That's freaking crazy, bro. He might just get a mistrial case because, like I've been saying, man, these videos, man, root. Money's the freaking root of all evil, bro. She did that to get like a book deal and get more media coverage because of the freaking trial. She just wanted it to, I guess, to go on, continue, man. But like you always said, one person was influenced and one wasn't, so it's like now it's kind of hard to gauge. So I'm guessing they probably would have to start that trial over again, bro. You might escape from justice, man. I'm telling you, seekers, bro. Money, man. Gotta be aware, bro, how it can affect people, bro. It can affect their decisions, man.
World's scariest animals just got a whole lot scarier. And Planet of the Apes is slowly becoming non-fiction. Because apparently chimpanzees are out here murking gorillas. Scientists in 2021 witnessed a troop of chimpanzees basically jumping a family of gorillas. And when I say gang, we're talking about almost 30 chimps pressing a family of 5. Keep in mind a silverback can weigh up to 400 pounds, could probably bench press your car. And according to witnesses, the silverback was eating chimps left and right like they were paper mache. But eventually the chimps overwhelmed the bigger silverback and even kidnapped a baby gorilla. I'm not going to tell you exactly what they did, but that family of 5 became a party of 4. And it wasn't even the last time. Because later that year, scientists watched the same group of chimpanzees do the same exact thing. Square up with a family of gorillas, kidnap a baby, and erase its name from the gorilla's census. And it's not like we didn't know chimps were about that. They often hunt bush babies and vervet monkeys, and we've even seen them use weapons like spears to do it. But it's one thing to hunt something that weighs like 5 Skittles. Throwing gorillas is another tier of Black Air Force activity. Which is why I'd rather be locked in a room with a jaguar than a chimp. Because at least a jaguar gonna make it quick.
That's kind of weird, bro. About how you saying the chimps were attacking a group of freaking gorillas, man. Like you said, gorillas weigh up to like 400 pounds. You said they could bench press a car, bro. They that strong, man. And the freaking chimps, bro. Like you said, some Black Air Force activity, man, just going at them. But the thing that got to me is he says the same group did it twice. So is that like a sign of evolution? They changing or something like that? Something going on, bro? Like I said, seekers, man, I watch these videos with you guys, bro. It always expand my mind, man. Hopefully, it's doing the same thing to you guys' minds as well, bro. Got to do some more research into that. Where's this guy? I know this usually. Seem like a shadow figure. I might have to call
This girl killed her mum so that she wouldn't find out she got kicked out of school. On the 3rd of March 2020, police were called to do a welfare check at a property in Ohio. Brenda Powell lived in the house, the 50-year-old mother of Sydney Powell. Brenda had actually been on the phone with Sydney's former school. This was the University of Mount Union. Now, during the telephone call, a staff member heard repeated thuds and screaming, so authorities were alerted. Inside, they found Brenda Powell in a serious condition. She was rushed to hospital but died from her injuries. Brenda had been unaware that her 19-year-old daughter had been kicked out of the school. During her telephone conversation, Brenda was struck in the head and then stabbed nearly 30 times by Sydney. However, when police investigated the murder, Sydney tried to claim that there had been a break-in. She told them that there had been a noise and her mum had instructed her to run away. She said she heard screaming and when she ran back in, her mum was on the floor. Investigators saw through her lies and she eventually changed her story. At her trial, she pled not guilty by reason of insanity. Her defense argued that Sydney was suffering from undiagnosed schizophrenia. They stated that she killed while experiencing a psychotic episode. However, it is rare for people with schizophrenia to act violently. It was concluded that Sydney had been exaggerating her symptoms. She's recently been found guilty and is awaiting sentencing.
Things, man, people will do, bro, in order to like freaking keep a lot freaking going on, bro. She was afraid her mom found out she got kicked out of school, so she just decided to do the unthinkable, man. What type of person does that, bro? Mom has to be strict, man, because she got kicked out and she just said, "I'm sorry, Mom, I just gotta end it all." Like, what? And then for freaking, lying, changing her story, trying to exaggerate symptoms, bro. It makes me wonder how many other people did that, man. Did it unthinkable act and just try to cover it up by just saying, "Oh, I lost my mind, I'm going crazy." You never know, bro, in this world.
Korean people don't use deodorant because they don't have the gene that produces body odor. Facts you didn't know about. I bet you can't solve the riddle at the end. Android cameras are better than iPhone cameras. Comment what type of phone you have and then click more. Would you do it? St. Lucia is the only country in the world that is named after a woman. The word burrito means little donkey in the Spanish language, and no one knows why they chose that name. 77% of people in Uganda are under the age of 30 years old. Squirrels cause about 10 to 20% of power outages in the US. On average, men get bored of shopping after about 25 minutes. Before the riddle at the end, like this video and follow me to learn new facts and get smarter every day, here's the riddle. What kind of tree can you carry in your hand?
The world needs...
That's interesting. What kind of tree can you carry in your hand? I don't know, man. They got me freaking sunk, bro. But the thing that got to me is the first fact he said how Korean people don't need deodorant because their body doesn't produce odor. It makes us wonder, like, well, what the hell? So what does that say about the people who has to freaking wear odor? I'm deodorant, bro. Like, why do we have, I guess, produce that gene or something like that, man? What's going on, bro? That's very weird and interesting. The Seekers, man. Tell me if you guys can solve that last riddle. What type of tree can you carry in your hand? Heck, it got me stumped right now, bro.
Needs to know what is happening across Europe right now. In countries across the continent, farmers have been taking to the streets in protest against their respective governments, saying that their policies are destroying their livelihoods. In France, not only have tractors blocked multiple vital roads leading to cities like Paris, but have also dumped dirt, stones, rubble, and even hay bales on key motorways. They also set fire to foreign produce and poured out all of the wine that was imported. They tore up parking lots in the south using their tractors. They sprayed an estimated 17,000 liters of sewage on government buildings, and even tried to shoot it in their windows. And then to counteract that, they planned probably one of the most peaceful protests the world has ever seen by filling the center of Draguignan with sheep. They even lined up hundreds of tractors on Le Touquet Beach, which is where the French President Macron has a holiday home. In Germany, thousands took to the streets to protest the phasing out of tax breaks on agricultural diesel, which they say would lead them to bankruptcy. Italy joined the protest with signs that read, "No farmers, no food, no future." This is what it looked like in Belgium yesterday, with tractors as far as the eye can see blocking important motorways as they protest a variety of issues, from low pay to climate regulations. In Romania, Poland, and Hungary, farmers protested against the EU's policies to allow cheap Ukrainian imports to flood the market, which they say has left them unable to sell their crops. Farmers in Scotland said enough is enough and took to the streets with the phrase, "Our land, our livelihood, our future." None of us survive without farmers, and that's why...
The thing that gets to me is, bro, I haven't seen any of the farmers like protests on the news or something like that, so I wouldn't even know what's going on if I wasn't checking out these videos with the fellow Seekers, man. But what he's saying, bro, like, I feel like they should freaking listen to the farmers, bro. They very important, man. They making it, they're freaking, having to handle the crops and the food sources and things like that, man. So if they experiencing problems, bro, I feel like the government or something should help them, bro. I didn't realize it was that bad, man. They pouring all that stuff on the street and stuff, man. It's like farmers around the world, bro. Somebody said that signal, man, they banding together, bro. I'm going to do some more freaking research into that, man. See why they all had to band together and do those extreme things they did, bro. Take care of the farmers, bro. That's what I say. where's this guy?
I don't care what anybody says. This is absolute insanity. Like, I don't care whose side you on. I don't care, girl. This is too far. So, allegedly, police are now involved to protect the grave of Megan Thee Stallion's mother. A source said that somebody leaked the address of Megan Thee Stallion's deceased mother's grave to allegedly, get a bunch of people to go defame this woman's mother's grave. What is wrong with people? Every day, I'm honestly reminded that people are just so crazy and just evil and vile over a person. 9 times out of 10, over a person they don't even know. Like, but yeah, be so for real. Like, come on now, this is too far.
I know that I guess the beef going on with freaking Nikki and Meg, bro. I didn't realize they got that bad where they were trying to go to freaking Meg's mom, freaking like the place where she's resting at, bro. Like, yeah, that's going way too far, man. Like, I told you, man, some people, man, when they get freaking mixed up with these personality beefs and stuff like that, like, they legitimately think that they know the person. Like, I don't understand why fans are like having to take sides between Nikki and Meg, because I'm like, bro, they really don't know me. They don't know none of you guys, man. You going this hard for them, bro. I understand you fans, you like their music, but people, man, they just take it too far, bro. And it's kind of scary, like, about how those people, they have that much influence over these people, bro. That's crazy. They will probably legit do anything you ask them to do. That's the scary part, Seekers.
Keep driving. No, it's not. Stop. Come on, man. I got a family. What are you doing?
Family too, not drive.
What are you doing? Please stop. I have 4 kids. What are you doing?
What you just saw were some of the final moments of Uber driver Christy Spicuzza's life. This is an extremely sad and horrific story. Christy Spicuzza was a mother from Pennsylvania who worked for Uber. She had a loving family, and on the night of February 10, 2022, she was expecting to just work her normal shift on Uber. But on that tragic night, Christy picked up this man, Calvin Crew. Now, Christy had a dash cam video camera which was facing her and her passengers. And for the first 20 minutes or so of this ride, Calvin just sat in the back seat, not saying anything, and Christy even tried to ask him questions like, "Did you have a good day? How's it going?" But at one point, Calvin pulls out a pistol, places it against Christy's skull, and informs her that she needs to drive. Now, Christy would continue to drive, and she begged the man in the back seat for her life, talking about her amazing children and her family and how it doesn't have to go like this, but it seems like Calvin's mind was already decided. And just 2 days later, Christy's car and her dead body were found in a neighboring area. Calvin had forced Christy to drive out to an isolated wooded area and murdered her out in the woods. After the murder, Calvin had used Christy's cell phone to access some of her financial apps like Cash App and sent himself some money, but it wasn't even a very large sum of money that this man stole. Calvin's girlfriend, Tanaya Mullen, was actually the one who called the Uber for her boyfriend that night, and she had even texted him that evening and said, "I'm not going to jail if we get caught," which is true because she never ended up going to jail or prison for her involvement in this horrifically sad crime. This is just such a tragic story that obviously did not need to happen, and that footage is some of the most horrifying that I've ever seen.
Nope. Come on, man. How did that girlfriend involved in that? How did she not face any freaking consequences for her damn actions, bro? That's what I said. Sometimes riding with Uber, Lyft, bro, like, you always have to be careful and aware, man, because you never know what people's intentions are, bro. It's freaking scary, man. That's why, man, sometimes, bro, it's better, man, to just freaking drive yourself, bro. That's making me freaking look at Uber and Lyft freaking way differently now, bro. You never know, man. Sometimes you hop in a car and you don't never know what somebody's intentions are, but they could just try to end it all, man. How does the girlfriend not face any freaking consequences for that? I gotta check up on that case, bro. Something off with that.
Nobody wants you dead more than your baby mama. This is 34-year-old Samantha Washington from Houston. She was married to 28-year-old Gregory Kirk, and they had 3 children, but they were separated. Once they became separated, Samantha realized that her children will never be more of a priority than ending the life of her ex-husband-to-be. So she hatched a plan. She thought, I'm gonna go to his job when he's having his lunch break, and I'm gonna bring his 3-year-old son, and I'm gonna let him play with his 3-year-old son on his lunch break. Then I'm gonna approach him from behind with a firearm on surveillance camera in front of his coworkers and shoot him, and he's gonna fall down and die. But he didn't die. He was begging for his life, and she realized that job wasn't finished. So she went back and shot him in the heart to make sure he was out of here, so she could have her 3 kids to herself and run off into the sunset. But that's not what happened. She was arrested, and she was charged with first-degree murder, and they gave her 25 years to life. And if she cared about her kids at all, she would have prioritized being a mother to her kids instead of ending the life of her baby daddy. Let this be a cautionary tale to you men out there. Nothing is more important than your baby mama ending your life. Not raising her kids, not moving forward, not being in a new relationship, not becoming an upstanding citizen. None of that. She ain't going to therapy. She going to get a gun, and she going to find a way to get you up out of here. Y'all be safe, though.
You know, enough about these people, man. Like I say, any intentions, man. She just couldn't let that relationship just end, man. She just had to decide to end it all, man. The thing that got to me was the way he was explaining the story. Like, she did it in front of the surveillance cameras, in front of his freaking co-workers, bro. And she truly thought she was gonna get away with it, man. And wasn't he said that he was playing with his 3-year-old son too? One time when the freaking his 3-year-old son saw that freaking horrific act, bro, scarred him for the freaking rest of his life, man. She did that, I guess, to keep the kids out to herself. And then now look what happened. Those kids probably in the freaking system or something. I was just like, people, they just can't let things end, bro. They just can't let things separate and let them grow and be their own persons off not together no more, man. See, because it's a crazy story. Not alone. A couple of times. Feel like somebody's watching. Edit.
This 19-year-old TikToker was murdered while filming a TikTok video. This is 19-year-old Anaya Womack, a woman from Jacksonville, Florida. Anaya was really active on her TikTok and her Instagram, and she really wanted to grow her following. In May of 2023, Anaya was brought to a hospital and dropped off with a gunshot wound in her stomach. After she was dropped off and left there, she died. And 135 days later, the story finally began to unfold. So Anaya's family had fought tooth and nail for justice, for answers. They just had no idea what had happened to her. I mean, how did she end up with that gunshot wound? Who drove her to the hospital? Well, eventually Mariah J. Clayton, a 20-year-old friend of Anaya's, was arrested. So at first, Mariah and the man she was with claimed that they were driving down the street when they somehow stumbled across Anaya and decided to help her out and bring her to the hospital. But obviously the police weren't buying that, and the man eventually broke down and told the police that he had gone over to an apartment complex to purchase marijuana, and that's where he and Mariah had found Anaya with a gunshot wound. They claimed that once they got to this apartment, Anaya told them that she had shot herself and she needed a ride to the hospital. But when police started interviewing people who were present at that apartment on the night of this shooting, a whole different story began to emerge. Apparently that night, Anaya and Mariah had been in the bathroom in the apartment filming TikTok videos. And one witness stated that when they went into the bathroom, they saw Mariah holding a large black rifle, waving it around, all while Anaya was filming her for her TikTok. So at one point, this male witness said that a man entered the room. He said they needed to be careful with the rifle. They shouldn't be playing with a gun, and he tried to take it from Mariah. But Mariah allegedly said, "I need to check something first." She pulled away with the rifle in her hand and it accidentally discharged, shooting Anaya in the stomach. And what it seems like allegedly happened is that Mariah and the others that were in the apartment then clamored and tried to hide all of the evidence. And they were the ones that ended up driving Anaya to the hospital later on. But they didn't stick around to tell investigators or anybody who they were. And obviously they hadn't been truthful about what really happened that night the entire time. I'm eager to see how this case turns out, and I just hope that Anaya gets the justice that she deserves.
All happened, man, because they was playing with a freaking dangerous weapon, man. That guy who entered the room, bro, he tried to freaking, he saw that situation coming before any of the people in the apartment saw him. He said, "Don't play with that. That's a weapon, bro." But she said she had to check something, man. And then she did that act, bro. Then, like I said, I'm guessing those people who try to hide the evidence, man, now they're gonna be in even more trouble, man, because they try to cover it up, man. They wasn't truthful, bro, about what happened. So look what happened to them now. Seekers, man, don't play with weapons, man. If you don't know if you like a gun or something, that's not nothing to play with. That's a weapon, bro, and that's extremely dangerous.
This author received a 1-star review on his book and he went looking for that person. This is 18-year-old Paige Rowland, and she was a student nurse from Scotland. When she was not busy with studying, she really liked to read. In 2014, she read a newly published book called The World Rose by 28-year-old Richard Britton from Bedford, UK. After she read his book, she became unimpressed with the writing and grammatical errors that the book contained. That's when she decided that she was going to go on this website called Goodreads to leave an online review. Paige decided not to leave feedback, but just gave a 1-star. This did not go unnoticed by Richard. Richard was filled with rage, and he decided he was not going to let Paige get away with criticizing his book. He then decides to look her up on Facebook and uses the name that she has on her Goodreads account. On her profile, she had full details of where her hometown was and where she was working. Once Richard got all the details he needed, he went on a 400-mile road trip to go see Paige. On October 3rd of 2014, Richard arrives at a supermarket where Paige works, and she was actually working that day. After scoping out the whole store, that's when he finds Paige. He then grabs a bottle of wine, heads over to Paige where she's restocking shelves, and slams that bottle against her skull as hard as he can before he leaves the store. Emergency services were called, and Paige suffered a horrific head injury that required stitches. Police wasted no time in tracking down Richard. His phone was traced and his home ended up being searched, and this revealed that he was in Scotland during that time. He was then arrested and charged with assault of Paige and stalking of another girl. In November of 2015, a trial took place and he pled guilty to both charges and was sentenced to 30 months in jail. In March of 2017, Richard was released and he was placed on an indefinite non-harassment order, but this wasn't the last time that Paige had contact with him. He had actually written her a handwritten letter to her home address. Once she had gotten this letter, she notified police, but prosecutors decided not to charge Richard because of his mental health. Paige was also refused criminal injury compensation because she had no long-term physical effects from the attack. Paige has moved to a secret address for safety. As for Richard, he is still free and roaming the streets.
This is by far...
That is a bad idea, bro. Like, what the hell? He did all that, man, and he got only 30 months, bro? It's like attempted to me. What the hell? That's another freaking thing, Seekers, man. Like, how he was able to freaking track her down like that because all her info was on her social medias, bro. That's why I'm like, bro. If you're gonna have a social media, man, you gotta keep where you at. At very minimal details, bro, because you never know, man. A weirdo or someone could be stalking you, try to stalk you. Go to your social media, they can find out where you work, where you live, everything, bro. Always gotta be aware, man. Always.
Far one of the worst cartel videos ever released, and this is a massive trigger warning. The brutal video that I'm about to explain takes place in an empty concrete room with no furniture. It looks like a scene straight from a Saw movie. As you play the video, you are immediately met with blood, and I don't say that lightly. There is literally blood everywhere. At first, when you see the victim, his torso looks like it's wrapped in saran wrap, but it's actually the shade of blood which reflects off the light. Upon playing the video, it's hard to tell if the victim is dead or alive, though his heart seems to be beating, as blood is leaking at an insane rate. The cartel member can be seen cutting the victim's throat with what appears to be a kitchen knife. After quickly slashing the victim's throat, the cartel member then takes the knife and cuts around the victim's face. From the top of his hairline down to his chin, it appears he's attempting to flay the victim's face. After cutting around the victim's face, there is so much blood that the cartel member loses his grip as he is holding the victim's head up. This then results in the victim's head falling back on the concrete ground, and as this happens, blood sprays out, leaving a streak of blood on the wall. At this point, you see the victim is somehow still alive. You see him move and attempt to breathe. The cartel member then tries to lift the victim by the head, but he can't get a grip due to the insane amount of blood. The clip then jump cuts and it shows the victim lying on his side, and the cartel member cuts his neck from behind, attempting to behead him. It jump cuts once again, showing that the victim has now been decapitated and someone seems to kick the severed head across the room. The skin is flopping down due to the attempted flaying, and again the video jump cuts. This time showing the cartel member cutting vertically down the victim's chest and stomach, completely opening him up. You see the victim's intestines and layers of fat. It's honestly a very, very disturbing sight. The cartel member then decides to switch things up and he begins hacking away at the corpse's knees. At this point, the corpse is completely drained of blood, and it's hard to explain, but in certain videos when this happens, the flesh looks completely different. I don't know, it's just hard to explain. The video then concludes with the victim hacked into pieces, disfigured, and completely disemboweled. All I can say is thankfully the video had no sound and was dubbed by music, because I could only imagine the sounds that this video produced. The victim was almost dead at the start of the video, so who knows what took place before the camera was turned on. This video is absolutely awful and extremely bloody. Whatever you do, stay curious and never go searching for it.
I won't. I never searched up those type of videos, man. Where the way he explained it, bro, that's enough for me, man. More than enough, bro. Whew. Seekers, man. That's it for this video for you guys today, man. If you guys stay with me to the end, you're a true seeker, man, seeking the truth. So I appreciate you, man. Like I said, guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, man, so we can get into the algorithm, bro. We can find more seekers, man. We could grow our community together. Like I said, guys, I appreciate the love and support you guys for showing me these videos. You guys making me believe in myself, man. And guys, we're gonna blow up. It's gonna happen one day, but we gotta keep working. I'm out. Peace, seekers. What's up, seekers, man? Welcome back to the channel, man. If you guys are brand new here, man, it's just your first time here, what we do here, man, is we break down scary and creepy videos, man, on the net, on the web, man, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos to IG videos, anything weird, usual, unexplained, you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank you guys, the seekers, man, who's been tapping in with us, who's been subbing up to the channel. We really appreciate that, man. We're seeking the truth just like you. That's what brought you here, man. So let's see what truths, man, we're gonna see today.
For his life, the 23-year-old who was accidentally buried alive on a beach in Australia has sadly passed away. If you didn't know, Josh Taylor was at the beach with his friends when they decided to dig a deep hole around 1.5 meters to cook a pig in. His friends say that he stood up from his chair, lost his footing, and fell backwards head first into the pit. They said he put his hands out to break his fall, and the walls of the pit collapsed on top of it. A staggering 15 men who were on the beach pitched in, digging and pulling. But a witness said that the force of being pulled out using a rope tied to his ankles caused him further injury. It was pretty gnarly when he popped out. I threw up. He broke due to the suction and the force of everyone pulling. Josh didn't have a pulse for 45 minutes when paramedics began performing CPR. And after being rushed to hospital, it was almost a week before he actually passed away. Although they are currently treating it as a freak accident, police have confirmed that they are still investigating the circumstances around the incident and are now asking anyone with dashcam footage from that day to please come forward.
Ghost stories.
Seekers, what do you guys think, man? It's like I said, they said he just freaking fell into that pit. I guess the pit, it was so big, man, because they said it was that like many meters, bro. He just fell in, bro, because he was doing a pig in. That doesn't sound right to me, bro. Like how all of a sudden, man, there was all those other people, they didn't fall or something happened, but he just happened to fall in, bro. Somebody did an accident on purpose, man, and they try to cover it up, bro. You don't know, man. Like I said, people nowadays are crazy, bro.
From around the world. Malaysia, the Penanggal. Once there was a young girl who was bullied by a lot of people in her village. People would often say really mean and terrible things to her, like she had a face that only her mother would love. And that made her bitter and angry, especially towards married or pregnant women. One day when the bullying was especially bad, she finally broke down and went on a rampage, which resulted in the deaths of many pregnant women in her village. She was then obviously caught and brought to justice. The villagers and the families of the victims hung her by a really tall tree, then used a different piece of rope and tied her legs together, then tied the other end of the rope to a bull. When the bull was let go, her body was pulled out, leaving her head and her organs dangling from the tree. And that's how she became a vengeful spirit, who floats around at night trying to find a pregnant woman to be her victim.
Blood-curdling facts.
Leatherface, man. That's my first time hearing about a freaking serial killer that goes by the name Leatherface, bro. I mean, the way he was looking, man, he looked like, bro, it just freaking looked like pure evil, bro. And if he can say that I guess he burned in his freaking family house, like, what the, did he do that? Did somebody else was tracking him doing that? Like, how the hell did that happen, bro? Serial killers, man. It's truly some evil people, seekers, bro. Evil people, man. Not too much to say on that.
That you wish you never knew. When a person is electrocuted via electric chair, they feel absolutely everything. They're completely aware of their body being deep fried in real time. And one person who survived the first round of electrocution said it tasted like cold peanut butter. As you're watching this video, your internal organs are constantly moving around inside you. Your armpit is where most of your important nerves in your arms are, so if you stab it, it will leave your arm completely useless. Ted Bundy, the serial killer, used to work at a suicide hotline. Scaphism was a form of ancient torture where someone's body was tied between two boats and they were covered in milk and honey, and bugs and other animals would feast on their body for days. Cotard's delusion is a rare condition where people literally think they're dead, and many of them ask to be taken to a cemetery to be with other dead people. There are over 200 dead bodies on Mount Everest, and they're used as checkpoints by climbers. If you die inside of your house, it's very common that your pet is going to want to eat you. You wouldn't do that, would you? Neil Armstrong's footprints on the moon don't match up with the ones on his astronaut suit.
Okay, now that last fact he said is very freaking scary, interesting, man. The footprint on the moon doesn't match, I guess he said, his boots, so what the hell? Was the operation to the moon when it was all a facade? Never happened? Now that really gets you freaking thinking, man. Like I said, that's why I watch these videos with you, the fellow seekers, man. It gets us asking questions, bro. Expand my mind more. Hopefully it does the same with yours. But the footprint, they didn't match up. So what the hell? So did he even go up there, bro? See, man, now that has me questioning everything, bro. Let's move on, bro. What do you guys think, seekers?
This is the story of the woman who walked in on her own funeral. In 2015, an Australian woman named Noella Recondo was coaxed over the phone by her husband into leaving her hotel room. But when she left, she was met with two men who kidnapped her and were hired to kill her. But almost immediately, the two men are starting to humanize her. They're asking her questions about her life. They're asking her why her husband put a hit on her. Somehow, she convinces them just to keep the money and to set her free. Meanwhile, days have already passed, and the husband's told everybody that she died in some tragic accident and he's going to be holding a funeral service. But she had details on that
service. So following the funeral, everybody convenes over to the reception to continue mourning. That is until she walks through the front door. The entire room is stunned, and the husband was in such disbelief, he thought he was hallucinating. Everything comes out. He's arrested, he confesses, and the rare story of her revenge return is one that Australia remembers.
These are scary.
Like, could you imagine that, bro? Like, the person that you live and that you love, you're supposed to take care of you with, man, sets a hit out on you, and you like freaking convince them not to go through with it, man, and you freaking hit it with the, like a freaking reverse Udo card, bro, at the funeral, saying, "Oh, you thought I was gone? Nope, I got you." Like, man, bro, what the? I'm surprised that didn't make like national headlines or something like that, man. Like, way more people should hear about that story, bro. Goes to show you, seekers, man. People I guess you think they're supposed to love and take care of you, man, they can change on you on that. Like a snap of the freaking finger, bro. That's crazy, man. She hit it with the reverse Udo, said, "You ain't taking me out, you go."
Scary urban legends that were proven to be real, part 2. Up next is the Montauk Project. It took place in Montauk, Long Island in the early 80s. And it was also the Duffer Brothers' main inspiration for Stranger Things. The legend wasn't fully baked until the 1990s, when Peter B. Nichols, who was an electrical engineer, helped pen the entire Montauk Project. During the Montauk Project, they achieved insanely great things, like time warps to Mars, psychological experiments that resulted in 11 children with superpowers who became spies.
11?
The whole project shut down when word got out, and it was just kind of forgotten. People still believe that all those kids are still out there, either working for the government doing things for them, or just living a normal life in secretive. But the crazy thing is, if they did this once, that means they could 100% do it again.
Here are the creepiest...
Man, like I said, I've been saying, bro, like how these TV shows and movies, man, how to be based off of, like, real events about things that happened. Here, that Stranger Things, like one of the most popular shows, was based off that. That's insane, bro. And that kind of makes sense, because, you know, L11, maybe that's where the name originated from. They say it was based off that.
It's Christmas Urban Legends, Part 1. Ever heard of the Yule Cat? This is an extremely creepy cat that's said to originate from Iceland. According to stories, the Yule Cat enjoys snacking on people during the holiday season. And what makes the Yule Cat even weirder is that it specifically targets people who haven't received any new clothing before Christmas Eve. Iceland is also home to Gryla. According to Iceland lore, Gryla is a giant ogress who leaves her cave in the mountains to feed on children during Christmas. To make the story even creepier, Gryla keeps the Yule Cat as a pet. What the hell is going on in Iceland? Then we have Belschnickel. This one comes from Germany. According to people of the Rhine, Belschnickel is an old bearded man who visits children during the holidays with Santa Claus. If you were good that year, he'd give you cakes and candy. If you were bad, well, Belschnickel would pull out a switch and whip the children until they behaved. This is probably why Dwight from The Office loved him so much. There's also Krampus. This is one you've probably heard about from movies and books. In the Alpines, Krampus is a horned demonic figure who visits the homes of naughty children on December 5th and punishes them. In some versions of the story, he hits them with birch rods. In others, he straight up takes them back down to hell with him. The Germans definitely know how to scar kids for life.
I don't know if I can visit Mexico.
Why?
Bro, they have the scariest urban legends.
For real?
Yeah, they got La Chuza, which is a shape-shifting witch that looks like an owl and is 7 feet tall, with the face of a woman, and you're not supposed to go outside if you hear whistling in your window.
What else?
Oh, La Llorona. She usually stays near bodies of water. She wears a white gown, long hair, and she's always crying for her children that she actually drowned. So you're next if you see her while driving on the side of the road.
Oh my god.
There's like this abandoned Disney park in Veracruz, Mexico.
What about it?
It has a statue that moves at night. There was 2 people exploring the abandoned park and caught it on video. Fam, you gotta check this out.
No, aguanta, deja que mi cámara enfoque bien, deja que mi cámara enfoque bien. Deja que mi cámara enfoque bien, güey, eso no es el celular. No digas perras mamadas, no digas mamadas. Güey, es que era el vestido también así, güey. Amarillo.
And it's static, frozen. I'm good on Mexico.
But they do have beautiful women.
You right, we might have to risk it.
We walk the trails of Hawaii at night,
unaliving everyone in our path. Hello, we are the Night Marchers. We are the spirits of ancient Hawaiian warriors. On the nights of a full moon, or on specific Hawaiian holidays, we come out of our burial sites and march down a pathway in the island of Oahu. If we are out, you'll first hear the beat of our drums, and as we get closer, you will start to hear us chanting and our conch shells. Then you will see our torches. When you see us, lay flat on the ground and do not make eye contact. If we see you, we will absolutely unalive you. If we make eye contact, you will hear, "Oh yeah," which means, "Let him be pierced." If you are fortunate, and one of us is your ancestor, they will call out, "Now," which means mine, and we will spare you. So be careful in Hawaii at night, because...
Imagine bringing...
Okay, that was creepy, man. It's like he got cut off or something now? What was he about to say? That's a freaking scary, I guess, urban legend or something like that. I guess don't be out, I guess, walking the shores of Hawaii at night, man. I wonder how many freaking stories they have that actually like happening. I'm about to do some more research into that lore, bro.
Your dead son's ashes after you cremated him. But the baby monitor is still picking up on the sound of your son crying, except now it's coming from his ashes inside the urn. You stare at his ashes in disbelief as the urn starts moving by itself. Convinced that a part of your dead son is still somehow alive inside the urn, you begin preparing baby formula to feed his ashes. You know your son passed away, but the crying sounds coming from his ashes don't stop. And you recognize your dead son's voice crying, "Mama, Mama," as a hand crawls out of the urn. So what is inside your dead son's ashes imitating his voice? This short film is called Remains, and it's a powerful but terrifying story about a mother's grief. There were some genuinely scary scenes, and I thought it was impressive that it was mostly just one actor in an empty house. But let me know what you thought and follow for more.
Definitely go from some creepy ass vibes. I give it that.
A little girl, just 10 years old, sobs as she's brought into court, charged with first-degree murder. She's comforted by her mom as the judge orders her held on $50,000 bail. And look, as she leans close to her dad, you can see there are handcuffs on her tiny wrists. The charge is shocking. The murder of a baby boy at a daycare center outside Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Injuries sustained by the 6-month boy was not an accident.
The little girl was living with foster parents who run a daycare center. She told police she was holding the baby when the baby accidentally fell out of her arms and hit his head on a footstool. She says she panicked and began on the baby's head to stop him from crying. The girl's parents say she has a history of severe emotional problems. They have tried repeatedly to get her help, but have been told she's too young to be admitted to a mental health facility. Now the disturbing sight of a frightened 10-year-old charged with the ultimate crime.
The longest prison sentence.
Man, that freaking young, bro? These people be doing these acts, man. When I be watching these videos, bro, it's like they be getting younger and younger, bro. Like, damn. She did all of that, bro. They said the parents tried to give her help, but she was too young to go to a facility or something, I guess, because of her problems. People need to pick up on that, bro. I feel like there should be different rules in place, man, because they tried to get her help, then look what happened. And she's gonna probably spend half her life in jail, bro. Off of the act, man. Secrets, bro. Be aware, man.
Sentence ever. Chamai Thipioso received the longest prison sentence ever. She was sentenced to a total of 141,078 years in prison for cheating more than 16,000 people out of their money, including the royal family in Thailand. She has made $200 to $300 million with a pyramid system over 30 years. But the Thai law says that you can only go to prison for a maximum of 20 years for fraud. Because of good behavior, she was released after 8 years.
Here's how one...
What the... that has to be like the ultimate scam story I've ever heard, bro. They said she made over like 200 to 300 million, bro. And she got out within 8 years? Nah, bro. And she scammed like a royal family as well, bro. That shows you her freaking level of skill. And he let her out after 8 years of good behavior. That ain't justice, bro. Like, imagine the freaking all that money she took from all those people, bro. Working class people, bro, who need that money. And she just gets off like that. Hell no, bro. Seekers, what do you guys think about that?
Strange marriage law caused a tribe to develop feet with only 2 toes. The Varoma people, who are also commonly called the ostrich or two-toed tribe, are located in northern Zimbabwe and suffer a very rare genetic condition called electrodactyly. Because of this, their 3 middle toes just don't exist, and the 2 outer toes turn inward. They're still capable of walking, but as you can imagine, they can't really run. It does, however, help them climb trees, which is useful since they follow a traditional hunter-gatherer way of living. And although not all of them have this condition, the tribe's law does not allow anyone to marry outside the community. And as a result, electrodactyly has been passed down, maintained, and can be found here more than anywhere else in the world. Imagine a teacher at your middle school sending inappropriate pictures on Snapchat and abusing children. Cassidy Krause is a 24-year-old teacher from a school in Iowa. Despite her being listed on Facebook as being married after getting married in July, there are disturbing reports emerging. She was recently arrested and charged with abuse after sending obscene materials to a minor. It's believed that she sent inappropriate material to students via Snapchat, and she has resigned from her role at the school. She's accused of SAing at least 3 students while employed by the school, the youngest student being just 13 years old. Court records show that her husband filed for divorce from her on the 28th of August. She currently faces up to 33 years in prison if convicted. It's reported that she has posted a $10,000 bond and has been released from jail for now. She is scheduled to return back to court on Thursday. She is yet to enter a plea.
A case that may...
Nah, she gotta go, bro. She had freaking access to all those kids, man. She got to freaking 3 of them, bro. And look what the result was, bro. And she was married as well, too. Like, bro, just freaking destroying lives. One after another, bro. Doing sick things, man, to those freaking kids, bro. Like, people, man, when they do these things, bro, like, it's like they don't think about the consequences in their freaking mind, man, if they go through these with these horrific acts, bro. I don't get it, Seekers, man. I truly don't.
makes me sick. The murder of Kenneth White. These 5 teenagers was throwing rocks from an overpass. Eventually, one rock hit the windshield of White's car and hit his face.
He was just throwing rocks like it was a damn prank. That's dangerous. You can't do that. Look what happened as a result.
He's the world's smallest prisoner. You wouldn't believe the horrible things he's done. Raquel and her husband have 2 children. They live in an apartment in Houston. It was a Wednesday. They decided to go buy pizza because the kids were on their lunch break. They decided to drive themselves. They decided to leave their 4-year-old son and 15-month-old sister at home. They thought their 4-year-old son could take care of his sister. From the house to the pizzeria and back, it would only take 30 minutes, tops. That's enough time to pick up the pizza. Shortly after they left, 4-year-old son was playing in the kitchen with his sister. Something unfortunate happened. The 4-year-old son decided to carry his sister into the oven, and he picked up his sister and put her in the oven and turned the switch on. When the parents came back, they just walked into the apartment. They smelled the smell of burning meat, but they didn't care too much because they had bought pizza. The smell of pizza was strong. However, when they were about to go to the kitchen for a drink of water, and when they looked inside the oven, they saw a nightmare. Comments off on nightmare. Follow me, part 2.
This is the...
I literally said, bro, how these freaking kids and stuff when we watch these really be young and young. I thought 10 was freaking young. What the hell is going on, bro? Hey, man, people, man, we gotta wake up, bro. We gotta start paying more attention to the kids, man. Like, what the hell, bro? And why would you think your 4-year-old could watch your 15-month-old daughter, bro? In 30 minutes, that's not That's like far away, bro. That's not like a 5 or 4 minute drive, man. That's a distance, bro. That's way too long. Should have had a sitter or something, man.
Scary moment, NFL player Elijah Moore appeared to start twitching on the ground after being tackled and hitting his head on the floor. Seeing what was going on, players around him could be seen backing away while calling for medics to quickly come and look at it. Now, after the footage started going viral, a few doctors on Twitter started commenting on why he was moving like that, with one saying, "Unfortunately, those are involuntary movements from a brain injury." And another said, "Involuntary limb movement occurs when there's a disruption between the brain and the muscles." Now, thankfully, after medics attended to Elijah, they ruled the injury as a concussion, and he was seen getting up and leaving the pitch. There's been no further update on his condition, but it seems that luckily he doesn't have any serious injuries. I'll keep you guys updated as we know more. Disturbing.
You know, freaking football's a dangerous sport, bro. But to see like how his body was making like involuntary movements, man, goes to show you, bro, the freaking, I guess, how hard they really truly hit in the NFL, man. We catch that ball and you hit that turf. That's why I think you have to like fall a certain way, or you could sustain a freaking brain injury or something like that, man. Thankfully, they said it was just a concussion, but who knows, bro, like, what's gonna happen to him after his career. But I was saying, bro, you might want to get that checked out, man, because you never know. You just want to check just to be sure.
Things said by serial killers.
Earth, would you have hurt those people? Why did you kill those people?
No comments. I cannot answer you at this time.
And that's why you killed them.
Right. Not because I was angry with them, not because I hated them, but because I wanted to keep them with me.
Nonetheless, you killed 7 men.
Yes, you did.
I'm asking you, what got you to kill the 7 men?
And I'm telling you because the cops let me keep killing them, Nick. Don't you get it?
This might be the most gruesome death of all time, and whenever you do, don't look up the picture. This is 18-year-old Nikki Castoris, and on Halloween 2006, she crashed her father's Porsche 11 driving at more than 100 miles per hour. She was trying to switch lanes when she suddenly clipped another car, lost control, and then flew over the middle of the highway onto traffic lanes and into a concrete toll booth. And when police arrived, they walked into literally a nightmare. They arrived minutes later and they found Nikki's body still strapped to the driver's seat, but her head, however, was no longer attached to it. Nikki's head was completely severed in half, and it wasn't a head anymore. I can't even describe what it looks like because it's so disturbing. The wreckage and the scene were so brutal that the coroner wouldn't let her parents identify her body. But unfortunately, her parents were not spared from seeing the gruesome scene. Photographs of Nikki's death had somehow found their way onto the internet, and they spread extremely quickly. MySpace pages who were acting as some sort of tribute for Nikki's death posted the horrifying pictures of the accident. Nikki's parents then received countless emails of the photographs, and there was no escaping the trauma. I really urge you never to look up this photo because it might be one of the most disturbing things you would ever see. This case should be an eye-opener to everybody to not drive recklessly, because as you can tell, your life can be taken from you in a split second.
I'd never look up those photos, bro. Never.
Here are some facts that you probably didn't know that one day could save your life. If you're saving someone from drowning and they're thrashing their arms in panic, punch them in the chest to snap them back into reality. Otherwise, you'll go down with them. If you don't have enough money for food, hot tea is a solid cheap meal. You can use as much cream and sugar as you want, which will give you a lot of calories and keep your body warm. If you see money falling from the sky, do not try to grab it, run. This is a common method that terrorists use to lure people into a single area and attack them. Before you dig around your house, make sure you call the number 811. A guy will come out for free and mark any gas lines in the area, which will save you from blowing yourself up. If you're walking through a damp area and you don't have shoes, wrap your feet in duct tape so you don't get trench foot. This will make your feet water repellent, hence the original name duct tape, because duck feet can do the same thing. If you're ever bitten by a poisonous snake, do not suck out the poison. This doesn't do anything and will actually make the situation much worse.
This girl killed her mom's...
Really? Hey man, these facts, bro, especially man about, you know, money falling out from the sky. I've never seen that before, man, but you know all the movies and shows where you see people go crazy and stuff like that, that kind of does make sense, because when people see money, a flish just whipping their head and they just go. But that is like seems like the perfect time to attack, man. And about the second out the poison, man, I heard, yeah, that's what people were supposed to do, but it really makes it worse. I've never heard that before, man. I'm definitely going to do some more research into that, bro. Like I said, see, because when I watch these videos, don't believe what I say, don't believe what the videos say. It's always up to you guys, man.
So that she wouldn't find out she got kicked out of school. On the 3rd of March 2020, police were called to do a welfare check at a property in Ohio. Brenda Powell lived in the house, the 50-year-old mother of Sydney Powell. Brenda had actually been on the phone with Sydney's former school. This was the University of Mount Union. Now, during the telephone call, a staff member heard repeated thuds and screaming, so authorities were alerted. Inside, they found Brenda Powell in a serious condition. She was rushed to hospital but died from her injuries. Brenda had been unaware that her 19-year-old daughter had been kicked out of the school. During her telephone conversation, Brenda was struck in the head and then stabbed nearly 30 times by Sydney. However, when police investigated the murder, Sydney tried to claim that there had been a break-in. She told them that there had been a noise and her mum had instructed her to run away. She said she heard screaming, and when she ran back in, her mum was on the floor. Investigators saw through her lies and she eventually changed her story. At her trial, she pled not guilty by reason of insanity. Her defense argued that Sydney was suffering from undiagnosed schizophrenia. They stated that she killed while experiencing a psychotic episode. However, it is rare for people with schizophrenia to act violently. It was concluded that Sydney had been exaggerating her symptoms. She's recently been found guilty and is awaiting sentencing.
It is now being reported that Japan has just been struck by a powerful 7.6 magnitude earthquake, and authorities are now urging people to flee to higher ground, warning that a big tsunami is now approaching, and maybe by the time you're watching this, hitting the country's shoreline. Happy New Year. Now, the red X you see is the epicenter of the earthquake, and the purple line indicates the area is issued with a major tsunami warning with waves predicted up to 5 meters. Currently, the extent of the damages and casualties are not yet clear, but there have been several reports of people trapped under the rubble of collapsed buildings. Motorways have been closed, bullet trains have been suspended, and footage shows cracks in roads and houses and buildings completely collapsed. This is a situation that is rapidly developing, so I'll keep you updated in a few hours.
That's insane, bro. I remember, yeah, like all that freaking like seismic activity that was happening all over Japan. It was happening like basically all over the place, bro. But I didn't know about the tsunami warning, man. Is that a freaking line, bro? What the hell was going on there, man? How about that 2024? It's supposed to be freaking good, but freaking tragedy stuff still happens, bro. It never leaves. YouTube, that's it, man, for this video for you guys today, man. Thank you guys, seekers, who stayed with me to the end, man. Seeking the truth with you guys, man. You guys are a real one, like I said. Subscribe to the channel, hit that post notification bell so we can grow the seekers, man. We can grow the community, man. Like, more people want to seek the truth, so that's the only way, man, they can find us. You guys can catch it in the next videos. I'm out. Peace, seekers.